Okay. Well,
Listen to me. You don't let me out of here, I'm gonna kill you. Break out two, two more.
That gang leader really thought the best place to confess was right there in the courtroom. Bold move, zero strategy. Then there's this guy who received the ultimate sentence, yet instead of breaking down, he stood tall, proudly owning his crimes. In this video, we'll examine the crimes committed by these gang members and the punishments they received in court. Brandon Ortiz Vite, a 25-year-old veteran from Mexico, was convicted of killing his girlfriend, Ruby Garcia, in Michigan. On March 22, 2024, the two had an argument in her car during which Ortiz shot her multiple times. He then abandoned her body by the highway and drove off. Ortiz had a criminal record in Michigan dating back to 2017 and was deported to Mexico in 2020 after losing his DACA status due to crimes such as burglary and driving without a license. However, he illegally re-entered the U.S. in November 2024. He later pleaded guilty to second-degree murder and other charges. His case sparked political debate, with President Donald Trump criticizing the Biden administration for allowing him to re-enter the country. During his sentencing, Ortiz was given 39 years in prison. He apologized to Garcia's family, expressing shame for his actions.
I want to apologize to my community, my Latino, Hispanic, Mexican community. I am a proud Mexican national whose actions have brought great shame and dishonor to our people. Our people who come to the United States in search for a better living, a dream that I have taken for granted, which has filled my heart with shame.
He also claimed he was under the influence of drugs at the time of the crime. Judge Mark Trusak called Ortiz Vite a cold-blooded murderer and a danger to society, stating that he was too violent to be free. U.S. Attorney Christopher Becca supported the sentence, describing the crime as horrific and emphasizing its deep impact on Garcia's family.
This, sir, was a cold-blooded, intentional killing. This young lady was shot several times, and then you put the gun right to her head and pulled the trigger. There is just no reason for this, no justification, no excuse whatsoever.
Some in the community have expressed concerns about how politics are influencing discussions around the case, particularly regarding immigrants. Prosecutors emphasized that this was a domestic violence case and should be handled with fairness and respect. The next gang member's criminal record is nothing short of outrageous, but among all his crimes, the one that ultimately sealed his fate was the murder of a toddler. Deshaun Austin, 25, was charged with the murder of 1-year-old Devil Gardner Jr. in Brooklyn, New York. The tragic shooting took place on July 12, 2020, during a family cookout at Raymond Bush Playground in Bedford-Stuyvesant. Austin and his accomplice, A.M. Artist, fired shots from across the park, striking Gardner in the stomach. The toddler was rushed to the hospital but did not survive. 3 other men, aged 27, 35, and 36, were also shot but survived.
He's the one who had a gun and walked up to a playground where people were grilling, sitting next to a stroller, playing with their relatives, and he fired shot after shot after shot.
Degree manslaughter, ChatGPT said the attack was gang-related, intended to assert dominance and retaliate against rivals. Austin faced multiple charges, including second-degree murder, attempted murder, assault, reckless endangerment, and illegal gun possession. He was also charged with the murder of a child under 11 due to depraved indifference. In April 2024, Austin and Artis were convicted of multiple crimes, including gang-related shootings and murder. Austin was found guilty of second-degree murder, while Artis was convicted of first-degree manslaughter.
We need to make an example out of him in case there are others that wish to follow in his footsteps.
Austin was sentenced to 50 years in prison, while his accomplice Artis received a 40-year sentence. Austin also faced 3 counts of attempted murder, and Artis was convicted of 3 counts of attempted assault related to other victims at the time of Gardner's murder. At the time of his arrest for Gardner's murder, Austin was already in jail for a 2020 shooting that killed Janelle Whitted outside a Brooklyn club, for which he was charged with murder and illegal gun possession. Unlike Austin, the next gang member's crime wasn't just proven, it was clear that he acted with intent. That intent earned him the harshest punishment possible. Pedro Espinoza, a former gang member and undocumented immigrant, was convicted of murdering 17-year-old Jamiel Shaw II in Los Angeles on March 2, 2008. Espinoza was part of the 18th Street gang and had been released from jail just a day before the killing. Shaw was walking home when Espinoza and another man approached him and asked which gang he belonged to. When Shaw didn't respond quickly enough, They shot him. He was taken to the hospital but didn't survive. Espinosa was apprehended within an hour, found in a park by a police officer who was unaware of the shooting. He was arrested and charged with first-degree murder. On May 23, 2012, he was sentenced to death by a jury.
The defendant was an active participant in a criminal street gang, and the murder was carried out to further the activities of that criminal street gang. The defendant, Pedro Espinosa, shall be put to death within the walls of the California State Prison at San Quentin, in a manner prescribed by law.
During his sentencing, Pedro Espinosa remained calm, showing little emotion. The only moment he reacted was when the judge ordered him to pay $7,500 for his victim's funeral expenses.
The defendant is also ordered to pay to the State Victim Compensation Board reimbursement in the sum of $7,500. People have submitted paperwork, and the defense is submitting them. And that is to cover the funeral and the burial expenses.
Pedro Espinosa once told authorities he was ready to kill for his gang, even if it meant facing the death penalty. He even bragged to a parole officer about wanting to end up on death row to prove his loyalty. During the trial, Espinosa's lawyer claimed he didn't receive a fair trial and had poor legal representation. However, Judge Ronald Rose rejected these claims, stating that the evidence clearly indicated Espinosa had planned Shaw's murder and later boasted about it. The murder of Jamie L. Shaw II led to debates about Los Angeles' sanctuary city policy and Special Order 40, which prevented local officials from inquiring about a person's immigration status. In 2009, Shaw's family sued Los Angeles County and Sheriff Lee Baca, alleging negligence and civil rights violations, but the case was dismissed in 2010. They also supported Jamie L's law, a proposal to cancel Special Order 40. Mayoral candidate Walter Moore backed the law, but it didn't make it to the May 2009 ballot due to a lack of signatures. Shaw's murder and Espinosa's criminal record became political issues, with Shaw's parents later supporting Donald Trump's 2016 campaign. Shaw Sr. appeared in a Trump ad and spoke at rallies. Turning to another case, Tommy Vladimir Alvarado Ventura, a known member of the violent MS-13 gang from El Salvador, was charged with attempted murder, assault, and weapon possession on March 22, 2017. In Hempstead, New York. Over a 5-hour period at age 31, he committed a series of violent crimes. It began when he was babysitting his girlfriend's 2 young children and allegedly mistreated and severely beat the 2-year-old girl, even strangling her. Later, he went to a bar called El Mariachi Loco, where he argued with a 24-year-old woman over purchasing marijuana outside. He attacked her by punching, kicking, and stabbing her multiple times, leaving her with a collapsed lung. After the attack, Alvarado Ventura returned to the apartment. When his girlfriend came home from work, she saw her daughter was badly injured. She confronted Alvarado Ventura, who reacted by punching and stabbing her multiple times. He later fell asleep in the apartment and was arrested without incident. His girlfriend and her daughter were taken to the hospital, where the toddler required surgery. Alvarado Ventura had been deported from the U.S. 4 times, most recently in December 2011. His criminal record includes arrests for drunk driving, disorderly conduct, assault using a false identity, and ignoring court orders.
He was deported in 5 years, 4 times. And since 2011, he's wandered the streets of Nassau County, free. And that is deeply disturbing. You have a little baby who, just talking about this makes me nauseous, a little baby who will never ever recover from the injuries she's recovered at the hands of this monster.
Alvarado Ventura initially denied his guilt and was held in jail without bail, while his lawyer remained silent. However, in February 2019, he confessed to attacking 3 people, a 2-year-old girl, her mother, and another woman. He expressed remorse and accepted a deal that would keep him imprisoned for 26 years to life. Nassau County District Attorney Malene Singas labeled him as one of the most dangerous and violent individuals in the area. In a separate case, a gang member's mistake led to the death of an innocent person. Sean Brown, a 21-year-old alleged gang member, was charged with the fatal shooting of 14-year-old Amir Griffin on October 26, 2019, at Basley Park Houses in Queens. Brown mistakenly identified Griffin as a rival during a violent gang feud. Griffin was playing basketball when he was tragically killed. Initially, Brown rejected a plea deal and opted for a trial. But in March 2023, he pled guilty to manslaughter, conspiracy to commit murder, and an unrelated weapons charge. On April 10, 2024, Brown was sentenced to 30 years in prison, with an additional 5 years of supervision for the killing. He also received 5 more years for the weapons charge, to be served separately. Amir Griffin's mother, Sheena Griffin, delivered an emotional statement expressing both her grief and relief that her son's killer had finally been held accountable. Queens District Attorney Melinda Katz emphasized the critical need to address gang violence and eliminate illegal firearms to prevent further tragedies after the death of Amir Griffin. Following the gang-related conflict that led to Griffin's death, there were 22 more shootings, including 1 fatal incident. A 3-year investigation culminated in a significant 151-count indictment against 33 suspected gang members, including Sean Brown. Brown's case attracted extensive media attention, with news outlets closely following his legal proceedings and sentencing. The crimes committed by another gang member were particularly shocking, given the unexpected victims he targeted. Luis Bamontes, a convicted murderer, killed 2 police officers in Northern California on October 24, 2014. Bamontes shot 3 sheriff's deputies in the Sacramento area, killing 2 and injuring the 3rd. A civilian was also wounded during the attack. A Mexican citizen in the U.S. illegally, Bamontes had a history of drug-related offenses. He had been deported twice, first in 1997 after a drug conviction in Arizona, and again in 2001. In 1998, he was arrested in Phoenix but was inexplicably released. Using the alias Marcelo Marquez, Bamontes shot and killed Sacramento County Deputy Danny Oliver. He then stole several cars, shot at a driver, and fatally shot Detective Michael Davis of the Placer County Sheriff's Department in Orville. He also severely injured Davis's partner. After a lengthy search, Bamontes was arrested later in 2014. In court, he was convicted of killing Deputy Danny Oliver and Detective Michael Davis Jr., and was found guilty of attempted murder,